Hi writers! So this video is part 2 of my series entitled How to Plot Your Novel. And what we're going to talk about today is developing a log line for your novel. So the first question is, what is a log line? And what a log line is a one-sentence summary of what your novel is about. And it's a really good idea to be able to summarize your novel in one sentence, which seems like a really big task, but it's actually really valuable and important, because if you have difficulty summarizing your novel in one sentence, then there's probably something off with your story, some aspect that you need to go back and correct before you get too deep into your story. So this is another part of the planning process before you start writing, but it's a really good exercise to see if you have a basic story structure that works. So in my study of log lines, the things that all of them tend to have in common are they introduce your character, introduce the conflict, and introduce the reason for the conflict. So that's what your log line is designed to cover. So the formula that I have covers those three aspects, and here is the formula. Now I'm going to show that last text box again that actually has the formula, because those things the items that are in parentheses are actually the formula. So those four things are the catchy adjectives. So the sentence would read like this: a catchy adjective, and then a second descriptor adjective, man / woman / profession of some sort, race car driver, whatever. Then the third thing in parentheses is the action taken. And then the fourth thing in parentheses is, it says after, in the fourth thing in the parentheses is the inciting incident. So those are the four things. The four things that are in parentheses are actually the formula. So I'm going to put that up again so you can take another look at it, and then I'm going to read out some examples, and then also put those in some text boxes for you. And I'm going to post these examples on my website within this post. It'll be under vlogs on my website, so you'll be able to look at this all in text form if that's an easier way for you to absorb the information. So what I want to get to now, before the end of this video, is just explaining briefly what each part of the formula does for your log line. So the catchy adjective is something that it's generally going to have a little ironic twist or something opposite from what you would expect. So if you have a too tough cop who is going to be in a beauty pageant, you wouldn't expect a too tough cop to be in that. Or like Arnold Schwarzenegger in that kindergarten cop movie, you don't expect a really big burly cop to be with some kindergartners. So a lot of times there'll be an opposite that goes in that quote unquote catchy adjective. I know the adjectives were, rogue is somewhat catchy, but for rogue cops who are ex-cops and older fighters, that may be opposite from what you're expecting, or just something a little unexpected twist. So that's what I mean when I say a catchy adjective. Next thing, the descriptor adjective. This is something, young, old, male, female. Those are the kind of adjectives I'm talking about. Pretty basic adjectives that help your reader better visualize what your character looks like. Because if I were to say a young cop or an old cop, that you get a different feel immediately based just on those very basic descriptor adjectives. So I recommend using that as well. The third step is the action, and that's generally in present tense, and I called it the action taken in the little text boxes I did, and that connotes what the protagonist does or is forced to do in reaction to your inciting incident. And the inciting incident is the last part of the formula. The inciting incident is whatever it is that happens that causes the protagonist to have to act, and basically what starts your plot going into, but get your plot in motion. So those are the 4 steps. I'm going to have more on my website again to make it really easy for you to put this in action immediately. And one last note, you don't have to worry about getting all the parts of your story in this one log line or this one sentence. The point is to just get the main thrust of your story across very quickly and very succinctly. So just concentrate on getting your main problem communicated in your log line. So I hope this is helpful to you as you move forward in planning out your novel. I know that I am actually having to start over in a lot of ways with my current work in progress because I did not do a log line. So I'm definitely going to follow my own advice in this case and really make sure I have a solid log line moving forward. And it doesn't have to be, something Oscar worthy, but just something that works. I'm going to make sure I have one that works before I go forward and try to, start really writing and wasting more time. So it can be a really big time saver. Good luck and happy writing.